for Veni here. Attempting to do some damage with mages, but it's not quite going to be enough. These mages starting to get cut down as well. There we go, Fireball comes into play and Veni says GG. Really solid game there. JBS obviously knows what his opponent's like and predicted that build really well. Nicely executed. So the second map we're going to be going into here straight away, guys, is going to be winter, and I'll explain what that's like as we get into it. Alright, players are ready, we're going straight in, and this is going to be game 2 of the best of 3. So, up in the top, sorry, best of 5, not best of 3. Just sorting out admin there with the players. This is going to be best of 5 format for the grand finals. A bit of a longer one, but it is going to be worth it. It's going to be really good. It's going to be a really good series between these two players. So off on the top right, 1-0 at the moment in this best of 5 set. It is Jibs. Down in the bottom left hand side, very, very strong player, but is he going to be able to beat the Titan Jibs? It is Veni in the red trunks. Veni quickly throwing down his expansion, and Jibs' base going down at roughly the same time. So it's going to be a similar opening again from both players. So you can see the timings very slightly different, but not much in it really, only a few seconds. So I just want to sort the camera there. We had a bit of a problem with it. So again, we probably won't see a huge variation until about sort of 2 or so minutes as these castles just go up here. It's going to be really interesting to see if Jibs goes for some sort of cheese build. He has been known to do that on a game 2. So take game 1 and then just secure his victory by going for a sort of game 2 cheese. Although we're unlikely to see that with the fact this castle's gone up and no house has gone down just yet. Both players going for the quick scout here at about just under 2 minutes. And they'll just be confirming that they've both gone for the same build again. JBS again, electing just to poke Veni a little bit, but doesn't really do a huge amount. Takes a lot of hits to take down a worker at this stage of the game. So, onto the interesting sort of sections of these maps. Just while these players start to secure their builds, JBS are looking to go into some barracks. So the main choke here, although it's actually really quite wide, sort of like steps of war, or possibly one of the entrance to the route, part of it is blocked off by a forge, so it can be so it starts off a lot narrower and can be opened up later in the game as pressure sort of comes towards the natural. Third is quite a safe expansion down here, but then it becomes a lot more difficult to sort of take your fourth base. You can either take it down here with a double expansion, although it is potentially quite vulnerable, or you can try and take it up here, which is possibly even more vulnerable, but is a little bit further away from your opponent. So previous builds that we've actually seen from Jibs on this map, Veni also going for the house here, have actually been just to expand quickly with riflemen and then just secure that double base in the background. And Veni there just confirming Jibs' barracks as it goes up. So good scouting patterns from him there. Jibs just pokes in, sees his opponent's house. Not quite seen the barracks yet, but he will just pop in and yeah, there you go, just confirms that from his opponent. So both of them going for practically identical builds here. So this is probably going to be rifleman pressure from both of them. And then again we'll see how it transitions onwards. Then you'll probably be expecting his build to be countered again, possibly, if he goes the same catapult mix. But it is still a very strong composition, so we'll see how that works for him. JBS throwing down a second barracks here. Veni just staying on one at the moment. And Veni just hovering around the main base. Particularly what you want to look out, the reason Veni's hanging around so long, is he's just trying to see if any forges go down. Because forges will be indicative of the sort of catapult counter build, this +2 soldier idea, but also will give him an idea that there's quite an opening that he sort of needs to attack into. Because forges will take quite a long time, sort of nearly 3 minutes, to go from sort of starting one to actually getting the benefits. And again, you can see Jibs just checking around for a third base. And it is going to be a very similar build out of Veni here. There's going to be this catapult opening. Now you can see Veni's build is actually quite vulnerable to early attacks. He doesn't really have any units out until about sort of just before 5 minutes. So that is one potential weakness of his build, especially with the fact that he likes to skip this forward tower. Then you're just confirming no odd expands. Both players very top level on their scouting. Absolutely confirming there's no shenanigans going on either side. When he starts his first catapult here, but he is going to want more barracks to back this up, because one rack's worth of riflemen isn't going to be able to support a catapult very well. It will get taken out quite quickly, like you saw in last game. And JBS again catching out Veni's worker here. I do believe, however, that yep, Veni confirmed this third base going down, and he doesn't actually have one of his own just yet. So, oh no, Veni actually opting to go for this sort of a bit further out. Allows him to park his army around here as opposed to sort of here. But this is more vulnerable. It's not too vulnerable, because this is far away from your opponent. This is on his line of attack anyway, but you're gonna have to block this off, as you can see he's doing here. But although this blocks it off, this does make it vulnerable to harassment, and there's a good chance you will lose this. So Veni just throws down towers so you can get a full vision here. This may get picked off by Jibs actually. Jibs doesn't see the tower quite yet, but Veni's tower allows him to get full vision of that. He sees the tower now and he will back off. If he had a unit advantage, he would be able to press that and possibly take down the tower. But with 3 riflemen versus 2, you'd have to commit a little bit with the soldiers there, so that's why he's backing off. Fortunately done now for Jibs, so maybe looking again to transition into this sort of +2 soldier build, which worked quite well from last game. And looks like he may be able to get around and actually pressure his house from Veni. And you can see the downside of this, Veni has to go all the way around to actually be able to stop this. Just have a catapult, so we'll be able to sort of send shots over the top there. The soldier's caught out of position here, and you don't want to lose that at this stage of the game. Jibs will have to back out here once this catapult starts firing, because that's going to happen, and catapults do sort of 40 base damage, so it will kill a soldier in a few hits. But this is forcing Veni's army away, forcing him to waste more gold repairing, and it keeps him on the defensive, which is where Jibs wants him. Jibs' upgrades are on the way, so he is a little bit vulnerable during that time, because he doesn't have gold and something else. So if he can just keep his opponent on the back foot... Oh, that catapult shot's going to hurt. That is going to force Jibs to back off now. So these upgrades are still a way off. JBS actually choosing to go into Rifleman Catapult himself. No real damage being done yet, just mostly sort of poking and harassment on both sides. You can see the cost of going for this slightly more forward base. Although it gives you a bit more sight lines and it's on your way, this base does have sort of much easier to defend choke, which you can see here. Jib's not really choosing to wall this off so much. You can see starting to create this wall just to protect the workers here. He's actually gone for a very mixed composition, much more sort of patch 1.7 style, and which actually used to work really well. Sort of more pure unit compositions have been favoured a bit more recently with this sort of Rifleman Catapult, pure soldier mage build. But these mixed units are still a very good composition. You can see both players just regularly scouting, making sure no shenanigans are going on the map. It's very important just to keep an eye, because just a quick base off to one side can suddenly give a player a massive advantage. Veni actually going for double upgrades here, and so is Jibs actually over in his base. So both players looking to wait a little while before they sort of transition and go into this main fight again. You can see Veni does have the lead in catapults, which is nice, because he is behind in other units, which is going to cost him a little bit. Mage's Guild actually coming up from Veni as well, down his main base. So I'm not sure whether he's going for a very mixed tech composition, or whether he's just looking to have an alternative to transition out. JBS also throwing down Mage's Guilds in the very back of his base here. So mages will work very well against the riflemen in these compositions, but it is going to be very expensive. Both players going for double upgrades, catapult, and now into mages. And yep, I was about to say, because the workers are rallied up there, but Jib's now going for his fourth base, and Veni will probably be wanting to look into going for a fourth base himself not too long now. But 75 for this is 73, so both players sort of macroing really well there. You can see they've rather destroyed my tab in the top left. Jib's throwing down a quick tower just to defend this expansion, so he doesn't have to constantly shift his army around. But that is going to give him a nice advantage once the main base dries up for both players. 3 bases is a good sort of level of gold income that you sort of want to go for. I didn't know you could sneak down the back there. And you can see Jibs once again just confirming no expansions. And then he is just gonna poke up here to see what he can see. Doesn't know about this fourth base yet, but he will spot